AskReddit by Smirking Sunshine. What scandal is currently happening in the world of your niche interest that the general public would probably have no idea about? Serious. Attention. Serious. Tag notice. Jokes, puns, and off-topic comments are not permitted. https://www.reddit.com/r//wiki/wiki_rule_6-closed bracket in any comment parent or child. Parent comments that aren't from the target group will be removed, along with their child replies. Report comments that violate these rules. Posts that have few relevant answers within the first hour, and posts that are not appropriate for the serious tag will be removed. Consider doing an AMA request instead. Thanks for your cooperation and enjoy the discussion. I am a bot, and this action was performed automatically. Please contact the moderators of this subreddit. Message compose $to =r@askreddit if you have any questions or concerns. A major African violet seller has been shipping out plants with INSV, impatient necrotic spot virus. There's no cure, you have to destroy the plant. It spreads through sap, so bugs or improper sanitation can spread it throughout a collection. This has a big impact for smaller sellers and people who show plants in competitions, as their collections can be worth huge amounts of money and effort. A lot of the drama revolves around the fact that the company is aware of this, and it's felt not enough is being done to find and dispose of infected plants in the greenhouses. This is exactly the type of content I was hoping for and why I subscribed to our hobby drama. Thank you. And really sorry about the plants. My grandmother's fall alert, which is supposed to be a medical device that's like a necklace worn around her neck which calls emergency contacts if it detects she has fallen over, can receive phone calls. Now she has telemarketers calling her on this emergency thing trying to sell her $1,000 medical devices. Who the F sold the list of contact numbers for seniors emergency fall devices? Wow, call the company and news stations. That is so fucking predatory. Former sheriff quickly went to early retirement after it was discovered that he and the sheriff before him were buying and selling police seized homes for personal profit. This was when I was kid, so somewhere in the 20-30 years ago range. Almost all firefighters have a second job because their schedules are 24 on 72 off. So a few created a fire damage cleanup and repair company. They were not only getting all the city contracts, but they were arrested for arson. They were setting fires. A Korean entertainment company's, now former, CEO was exposed for verbally and physically abusing the members of their boy group after a video showing this behavior went viral. It was later revealed by the members that they were also being put in situations that lead to them frequently being sexually harassed. They are currently taking legal action against the company to break their contracts. K-pop industry is quite difficult. Don't want to piss off fans. One of the first female K-pop stars, actress, was subjected to a lot of nasty awful things. The company's directors, father and son had her as private sexual worker, selling her to the highest bid and even force her go into hysterectomy so they can have sex without condom. She took her life leaving a note with all these details, yet nothing happened to the company or company director. They are just too powerful. The failure to control the production of meth by restricting pseudoephedrine has led to breakthroughs in creating it through using other precursor chemicals that are cheaper and available in much larger amounts. The substitute drug phenylephrine has no proven clinical effect on congestion save that provided by placebos due to how it is metabolized in humans outside a lab. As a result, I've seen several knockdown online fights between pharmacists over how to handle the fact that they are basically being told to lie about a placebo to patients or support meth addiction. I speak to many pharmacists and haven't found one that believes that phenylephrine is useful outside of a strict set of circumstances, and they are pretty bloody annoyed that pseudoephedrine is still banned years after the illegal drug manufacturers moved to a precursor chemical available in literal vats fro. I heard a chemist basically explain that making meth is super easy, you can do it with just 2 substances, however, those 2 substances are bad. So people started using other substances to make the 2 substances that make meth, but those were banned. And it went on and on until a bunch of chemicals, some of which are very beneficial and like the 9th gen of gems needed to make meth, have been banned. The process has become slightly more complex but still very much doable at the cost of drugs like pseudoephedrine. The former head of Oxford's papyrus collection stole some biblical papyri and sold them to the Hobby Lobby people, and may have lied about their dates to make them seem older than they are. Okay, that's niche. There's a lettuce shortage right now, but a head of it will last longer than some prime ministers. Many phone companies are switching landline phones from copper analog to VoIP without telling their customers. So people with commercial fire alarms are now discovering that their fire alarms are not reporting to a dispatcher, meaning if there is a fire, help is not on the radar. This is also happening to life alerts and common burglary alarms. The phone company puts in fine print blaming the alarm companies, and the alarm companies put in fine print taking no responsibility for the alarm not working due to phone line changes. Many people think they are being kept safe with their alarm, but if they are not using cellular or direct IP, their systems are likely not working properly. Judges of Irish dance competitions were caught trading sex acts for scores. Arse in the air is the new catchphrase of the entire organization thanks to one judge's particularly graphic text messages. Isn't this a world that is mostly populated by children? Figure skater Camila Valieva is facing a 4-year ban for a doping violation that came out at the 2022 Olympics, but her coaches and doctors will most likely face no consequences even though everyone knows they are the responsible party. It's a state-sponsored program and the other skaters from that team were more than likely also on similar drug cocktails, including the gold medalist Anna Shcherbakova. Important note: Camila Valieva is 16 years old, and I believe this drugging took place when she was 15. Her coaches, doctors, and parents are literally the responsible parties because she is a child. Women's figure skating is a fucking mess. I've subscribed to Birchbox for 8 or 9 years and they recently stopped shipping monthly boxes with no communication or warning whatsoever, yet they have still kept taking customers' money. I realized only last night that I hadn't received a box in a while and never received a separate order I placed on the 11th of October. Did some research and apparently Birchbox is going under. The majority of subscribers' posts on social media are like, why isn't customer service getting back to me? I haven't received my order and it's been a month. My Birchbox account showed my next order date of the 31st of December, 1969, which is a common default date in programming, so I'm told. So everything is wiped, there is no customer service anymore. No one is going to answer them. Subscribers and customers will collectively have to come to the slow realization that they're not getting their money back. Edit: the 31st of December, not 30th. 3 words: credit card chargeback. Guy who runs the most prolific Area 51 website got raided by the feds. For the record, I don't think there are aliens there or that aliens crashed an NM in 1947. But I'm very curious what he did come across that garnered that response. Now that sounds interesting. The academic journal publisher Elsevier charges universities and people the same price for access. This means that if an article costs $60 to view, then the university has to pay $60 for each student who views it, which could number in the hundreds. That's a couple $1,000s for each individual article. My state has currently banned universities from subscribing to them for this exact reason. It's a statewide boycott. I think it's happening elsewhere too, because when I need to access one of their articles, I found that dozens of people have already illegally uploaded it somewhere. It's not hard at all to find them. I actually agree with my state though, because they are gatekeeping knowledge for profit. See Hubset. Access all academic papers for free. VPN required in many countries. Not really a scandal, but a paleontologist put out a paper that split Tyrannosaurus rex into 3 species, T-Rex, T. regina, and T. imperator. Folks generally thought it was bullshit, and another paleontologist put out a paper that argues against the original paper, but it's, sort of, ongoing and it's whack. Science is just one long passive-aggressive argument, Frank. The website DeviantArt wants to integrate an AI picture generator to their website, which would include every picture from every account automatically. There is an opt-out option process, but it's rather complicated and you need to do that for every picture again. The artist community is furious, because AI art is actually quite a big controversy, as many artists see it at best as unrespectful and at worst as thievery of their own work. I and many other artists deleted their account because that was easier than getting through the opt-out process. I even heard some want to sue the platform. Yuji Naka, co-creator of Sonic the Hedgehog, was arrested for insider trading. That's what they want you to think. In fact, he was jailed because he was responsible for something much, much worse. Balan Wonderworld. More schadenfreude than scandal, but web-based algorithmic house flippers are losing their asses holding houses they paid too much for, thinking real estate would always go up. We learned about this in our economics class, asymmetric information. Basically Zillow, Redfin, etc. know exactly what the average price of a home should be for a given market. So they approach a ton of buyers with fair market offers based on things like proximity to school, the city center, of bedrooms, of bathrooms, square footage, you get it. What Zillow and Redfin don't know is if there is an issue with the foundation, shitty neighbors, dog shit on the lawn every day, you name it. They can't know the specifics as if it was being purchased to live in like regular folks. So these companies, using an average price, make these purchases. But they only get the leaky houses with terrible neighbors because the deal is good for the folks that would sell. The actually good houses that bump up the average price are worth more than Redfin's offer. So these big companies trust their algorithm until they are left holding the bag on a ton of properties that won't sell without big investment or loss. Classic. Durkheim Bink, one of the leading scholars in Greco-Roman magic and classics, and an Oxford University faculty member, was suspended in 2019 for allegedly selling ancient papyrus fragments to the Museum of the Bible, which is run by the people who founded Hobby Lobby. Museum of HTE Bible is a pseudoscience museum that refutes the fossil record, that it exists and that it prove evolution natural selection, refutes evolution, and refutes science when science contradicts the museum's interpretation of the Bible's creation mythology. In one of the Duggar shows, the family goes to this museum and there's an exhibit of a teddy bear encased in concrete, labeled "This is a fossil." There is a nationwide shortage of Adderall, leading to a lot less niche focus than usual. I'm struggling to fill my prescription this month. Last 6 months every prescription was filled anywhere from 2-10 days later than it should have been because the pharmacy didn't have any in stock and couldn't order. I've learned to skip my dose on the weekends so I'll have enough buffer for the weekdays. People who use Photoshop will start having to pay to use Pantone colors. It's worse than that. Photoshop is actually deleting Pantone color data from files when it comes across them if you are not paying for the subscription. The most influential German gallerist is accused of groping and sexually assaulting numerous women. Also trying to get artists to sleep with him for contacts in the industry, etc. But the news article that goes into further detail about the scandal is behind a paywall, so I assume it will be soon forgotten about. Abuse of power comes as no surprise. Who is this person? I haven't heard anything about that. In the school district I work in, we are supposed to be one 1 student laptops. We have several students without laptops because so many are outdated and or broken. On top of that, our internet has been terrible, making it impossible to use digital resources like our admin expects. They say it's not in the budget to fix these issues. However, our curriculum director, who makes 6 figures, has spent the majority of this school year pulling kids from class to make TikToks rather than doing the job he gets paid for. A real slap in the face to us lowly teachers who don't even make half of his salary. I've always said admin folks shouldn't be paid more than teachers in a school. Why is a curriculum director more important than the teacher? The CEO of Nissan is a fugitive wanted in the alleged abuse of corporate assets and money laundering. The company lost 99% of their profit in 2019, had a 145% decline in profit for 2021 and a 338% decline in 2022. You completely glossed over the best part, how he escaped Japan. In a music equipment box like he was a guitar amp or something. https://www.bbc.com/news/business-577609993 right square bracket open bracket https://www.bbc.com news business 57,760,993. It's such a crazy story. He's a monumental sack of shit, but crazy story. Not necessarily a scandal, but health insurance companies regularly deny claims as a mistake, then don't have enough people to answer the phone, forcing hospitals to call daily. After a set period of time, the right to appeal these claim decisions pass and the insurance company doesn't have to pay the claim, which can then mean the patient getting the bill for something the company should have paid for. However, the denial reason will still read incorrectly. The people who answer these questions only regurgitate the written info and won't actually have knowledge on what it's supposed to be. What the hell? Not currently, maybe a few months to a year ago, but a popular jazz club in my city has been allowing a well-known drug dealer to operate freely on premises for years. Other clubs in the city have banned him for trying to slip goodie bags into the pockets of older masters who are known to be recovering from addiction, but this one club refuses to even acknowledge that he's a dealer, and the musicians who go to the jam sessions are finally fed up with it. A few have gotten into very personal arguments with the owner over having a healthy environment to play. Edit. Wow, super glad to see all the responses on this one. I will not be naming and shaming though, primarily because this was a few months to a year ago and I don't know if they've straightened out their shit. I stopped going. In case they have, calling down the wrath of the internet on a club won't help. Simon & Amp Schuster sold 900 signed $600 copies of Bob Dylan's new book, which were promptly proven to have been signed with AutoPen. After much denying, and now some backpedaling, they have refunded everyone, but only because they were stupid enough to give everyone a letter guaranteeing them to be hand-signed. Because their stance is that it's still an authentic signature just penned by machine. All that money gone when the guy could have just taken an hour or two to sign the damn books. There's a board game called Hair Escape that has a fairly dedicated fan following, even after being out of print for more than a decade. Hasbro recently announced that it was bringing the game back, through HasLab, which is basically their in-house version of Kickstarter. However, the deadline lapsed and the goal was not met, so the project was cancelled with no plans to ever touch it again. Fan reaction ranges from "wait, it was a Kickstarter I had to fund? I had no idea" to the $250 buy-in was way too high, there should have been pricing tiers. Basically, Hasbro did not market it the way they really needed to for it to succeed, and the community is generally pretty salty about missing out now. Damn, I didn't know this was going on. I loved that game and still have my pieces. Although asbestos was made illegal in the US in the 1970s, it remains present in newly constructed buildings today. See, the production and retail of asbestos products was banned in the US. However, imported products from other countries, often Mexico, still may contain asbestos. I recently surveyed a nationwide worldwide fast food restaurant, not to be named for security purposes, that was constructed in the early 2000s and still found some asbestos containing material. Worry not though, all renovations or demolitions require an inspection and asbestos containing materials are abated prior to disturbance. That's what I'm here to do. I still find it a little scandalous though. Guess they aren't expecting a tornado, hurricane, earthquake or fire to accidentally send those asbestos particles airborne. The 2022 Marble League is happening right now. Olympic type events for marble teams, basic stuff like sprints and relays, but also more unique things like crafting. The Pinkies have been leading the standings since event 4. We're now on event 8 and have one of each medal, which is shaking up the whole community because the Pinkies are known for not being a very good team, and most people didn't think they would even qualify for the league. Oh shit, I forgot about that. I remember when the community